Hello, everyone. I'm Justin,
And I'm Marcella.
and this is Sailor Manga, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the iconic Sailor Moon manga by Naoko Takeuchi and discuss it to our heart's content. Happy Moon Day again, Marcella. How's it going?
Happy Moon Day. Yeah, it's going okay. It's going okay.
Marcella and I are running off the high of doing some amazing Dead by Daylight matches together. We were killing
yeah.
it. Women getting shit done, very International Women's Month.
Oh yeah, sacrificing the men and getting stuff done. No, we weren't. That's terrible.
Even though I think that this episode will air on the first week in April, but as the time we're recording this, it's March, so it's International Women's Month. I'm gonna actually double check. When is this episode coming out? Yeah, this episode will come out on the 5th of April.
Well, every month should be.
Every month is International Women's Month. That is correct. Yeah. All right. So before we get into today's chapter, which is Act 9, Princess Serenity, super excited for this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into that, of course, we got to get our moon news out of the way. So Marcella, what moon news do you have this week?
Well, my moon news lets the side down drastically because I haven't got any.
Oh, no!
Well, no, I'm kind of got updates, but nothing. I haven't progressed anywhere. So
yeah,
we spoke earlier today, and I was about to do my reread of the current chapter, just to prep,
freshen up.
And I haven't had chance because work and obviously gaming came into play.
Yeah, we had a streak going into Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, exactly. So we had to keep that going. And I've just been really busy. When I think, what have I can't think what I've actually done this past week. At all, let alone Sailor Moon related. I mean, I must have done something, but it's just been work's been crazy busy. I did order another couple of the standard editions, which I'm collecting because I remembered I hadn't ordered one last month, so I thought I'm going to order 2 to make up for it. So I've ordered 2, so that collection's growing.
Nice. I think I probably will eventually get them, but not right now.
Yeah, they're just cute and little, and I just thought, why not just buy one a month? Although this month 2 because I forgot last month.
Of course.
And then I'm still waiting for the Sailor Manga mug.
What's the story there? Do I need to write an American email?
Yeah, I think we'll hold off, but because I haven't actually done anything. But there's no tracking. I can't even track it. I'm hoping it just got delayed the same place as the.
How come you can't track it?
I don't know.
That's so weird.
That's ordering if you can't track it. I mean, that's half the fun of ordering something, isn't it?
Yeah, to be like, oh, now it's in this state. Now it's in this state.
Yeah. Anyway, so if it hasn't come by next week, I will allow you to dictate an American style.
Oh, I will channel my inner Karen, my inner Caroline, my inner Susan. I will do it.
Yeah. Okay, good. And yeah, that's about it. I obviously can't watch the anime because the
I'm
UK
so upset for you.
Hates Sailor Moon
I'm so upset for you.
Everybody hates the UK.
Do you know what region the UK is? Is it region 2? Like for DVDs and stuff?
Yes.
Maybe I'll do some digging and see if I can. You know what? Maybe I'll just send you the DVDs and then send you an American DVD player so you can fucking get your Sailor Moon fix.
I should just buy one myself and stop sulking, shouldn't I? But I want digital copies. I mean, come on.
I feel you because my Sailor Moon season purchases are digital, so I feel that.
Yeah, I want to be able to lie in bed and watch them on my laptop. I don't want to have to go to the effort of putting a disc.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Anyway, so that's kind of it. That's kind of it.
Okay, cute.
Not much. What about you?
Okay, so my moon news this week, I actually have quite a bit, considering. So my first bit of moon news is I watched another episode 3 of the Sailor Moon live action series.
Nice.
It was the episode where Rei was introduced, and I just want to give a wonderful shout out to Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live action, because they really kept the spirit of each character's personality. Like Usagi is so ditzy and wants to be friends with everyone, and Ami's just worried about her grades, and Rei is such a bitch. I love it. Like they literally did such a great job, and
nice.
It's really, really good. So I highly recommend, even though it's really hard to find. I think I only have like 8 episodes saved, so after that I don't know how I'm gonna watch it, but anyway, I'm enjoying it while I can.
Okay.
My second bit of moon news is I watched an episode of the anime that I hadn't really seen before. Like, I say that I've seen every episode, but when me and Alan were doing our rewatch, at the beginning because my nostalgia kicked in. I was like, we're watching the original Deke dub, and that's just all there is to it. So for like the whole first season, we
Mm.
watched the Deke dub, which I think they cut out what, 5 episodes, 7 episodes.
Okay.
So this was episode 5 with the Chanellas, the little
Yeah.
animals. So I watched that episode and I was like, wow, this is a really good episode. And in that episode, Luna's talking about the moon princess and Usagi's like, moon pudding? And I was like, why the fuck does she think she said moon pudding? But yeah, that's cute.
That sounds tasty though. I'd eat
It
moon pudding.
does. What else? I've got some more moon news. I just gotta find it. So before the podcast, I told Marcella that I had a little bit of moon news, but I wanted to save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
So the first one is that I reached out to a Sailor Moon Twitter that does like Sailor Moon news and stuff, and I was like, hey, just so you know, my friend and I started a podcast. It's about Sailor Moon manga, blah blah blah, whatever. And they
Mm.
didn't necessarily respond, but they thumbs upped the message.
Okay, good.
So I will take it.
I will take it
I will
too.
take it. And my last bit of moon news, I know I'm going on and on. My last bit of moon news
Oh.
is ooh, bless you. Did you sneeze?
A tiny sneeze.
My last bit of moon news is not to out myself, but to out myself. I may or may not have actually, you know what? I may or may not have stumbled across someone, wink, wink, someone posting on the Sailor Moon Reddit that there was this awesome new podcast called Sailor Manga. And I
Mhm.
definitely didn't post it myself. Wink, wink.
Okay.
I
Okay.
definitely didn't
Got
post it
you.
myself, and it's got
That's
7 likes. So
oh, exciting.
so thank you to
Well,
that fan.
welcome if
Thanks,
you're
fan.
listening.
George, was
Thank
that
you,
you?
random.
Bill, was that you? Okay, they said no. Okay.
It wasn't Bill.
It wasn't Bill or George. Wait, where's my iced coffee? Y'all haven't left yet. Okay. Anyway. Anyway. Okay, so moving on to actual Sailor Moon stuff. Today, like I said earlier, we are reading Act 9, Princess Serenity, and I'm so fucking excited about this chapter,
Yeah.
Marcella. This is a
Yeah.
fucking good one.
Yeah. Buckle up.
And buckle up, sweethearts, because we're about to get a shit. You thought there was information in the last episode? Wait for this one.
Mm.
So we start with the chapter header cover page, and it says Act 9, Princess Serenity. And you know what? I don't know if this is Princess Serenity, but doesn't she look a lot like Usagi?
She does.
That's so weird. You know, she's got platinum
Yeah.
hair. She looks just like Usagi, and she's in this beautiful, beautiful dress. The Princess
Little
Serenity
dongas.
dress. Yeah, she's got a dongos. The background is like very lilac and pink
Mm.
colors. It's
Very
very
lover.
beautiful. Very lover era. Yeah.
Mm.
From Taylor Swift, of course. But yeah, the
Yeah.
Princess Serenity dress, just to have a fashion moment, gorgeous. It's so
Yeah.
ornate, and the beading on the chest area is so good, and it's a bop. It's a bop for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And me.
All right, so moving on, this chapter picks up right where we left off, right with the cliffhanger of
Oh,
Tuxedo
yeah.
Mask jumping in front of the blast from Kunzite to save Sailor Moon.
Mm.
So we start with Sailor Moon screaming, Tuxedo Mask.
Tuxedo man.
Tuxedo Mask! And in Tuxedo Mask's stupor, he's like passing in and out of consciousness, and he's thinking, someone
Mm.
is calling me. And he sees an image of a woman with long hair, and he says, long hair, the one calling out to me in my dreams. Is it you, Sailor Moon? And then he sees Sailor Moon again. And she says, Tuxedo Mask, wake up, open your eyes. So he goes back into his slumber. And he's thinking, you look so sad. Why are you crying? Talking about looking at her face and seeing the despair in her face.
Yeah.
And he says, I remember. This has happened before. And then he sees someone who looks suspiciously like Usagi.
Mm.
And she's screaming, Endymion! Endymion! And then he says, Endymion, that's my name. I remember. So we need to pause.
Got chills.
I know, it's so, like, this chapter is where we get the backstory, bitch. This is the backstory bullshit, and I love it. So, Mamoru, aka Tuxedo Mask, he's seeing these images flutter in his head. And he says, I was reborn into this life as Mamoru Chiba. And then we get this panel of him as Mamoru, and then silhouetted behind him is Endymion. We don't necessarily know who Endymion is yet, but he's
looking like a Disney prince.
Yeah, he does look like a Disney prince. You're right. He would be my favorite Disney prince, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah.
So then, as Sailor Moon is hovering over him, he's thinking, also I could find you. And then he says, Serenity. He calls Sailor Moon Serenity.
I love the romance.
Oh, I do too. And then he passes out again. So he says Serenity, he passes out. Sailor Moon screams no, very, very loud. And then she screams it again, very, very loud. Buckle up, y'all, because shit's about to go the fuck down. So she's screaming. Light is emanating from Sailor Moon as she clutches Tuxedo Mask in her arms. And the rest of the girls are like, Sailor Moon? And the light is so intense coming from Sailor Moon that it cracks her tiara, breaks it into several pieces, and the moon symbol appears on Sailor Moon's forehead.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that Sailor Moon would have a moon symbol? Crazy.
Not me.
Crazy. So then we get, of course, a very manga anime cut to everybody's shocked face, including Luna.
Yeah.
I love it. And they're all thinking, that crescent symbol on her forehead, Princess Serenity? And then the moon symbol on Sailor V's head glows and it changes to the Venus symbol.
Yeah.
And then she gets her standard tiara like all the other girls.
Yeah.
So, maybe she wasn't the princess, Sailor V. Sorry, Minako, you're out.
Yeah.
So then the bright light is still intensifying, and is Sailor Moon already in this dress? Yeah, okay. So Sailor Moon's outfit changes to the Princess Serenity dress. Gorgeous.
Yeah, gorgeous.
She's still sort of clutching Tuxedo Mask, but his pocket watch is floating into her hands because I think she still had it on her.
Yeah.
And it starts to glow. And even though the pocket watch was broken, it starts to tick backwards. And she's shocked by this. And she says, Tuxedo Mask's broken pocket watch is starting to move backwards. It's going farther and farther back in time, ticking away the memories of the past, a tragic past. And then I love this panel of her crying, and you see all the clocks ticking around her. Very ornate.
Yeah, very.
And then she says, flashing before my eyes. And then we get cuts to all the Guardians. And Mars says, I remember we were ... And Jupiter says, Guardians, we were supposed to protect Princess Serenity. And Mercury with her Madonna mic, love that. She says, we were reborn to protect the princess and to rebuild the Moon Kingdom. And now the newly named Venus says, and our real princess is ... And then you flip the page, and this is a page with no words, but like it says a lot.
Exactly.
All the girls it shows just Venus looking up at the top of Tokyo Tower.
Yeah.
And there's Princess Serenity with Tuxedo Mask, the moon, and it's got like these ink blotches that I guess represent stars. If you think, I guess that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah.
And there, once again, there's a light emanating around Tuxedo Mask and Princess Serenity. And then Kunzite is in his little energy field, and he looks like he's blinded, and he shooketh.
Yeah.
So, it's flashback time. I'm so excited. Okay.
Here we go.
So now we settle into the flashback, and we got this image of Princess Serenity holding Tuxedo Mask, and she says, I remember you. And I'm getting so hype. I just need to take a second. It's so good.
Okay.
So she strokes Tuxedo Mask's face, and she says, my beloved Endymion. So then we get the first panel flashback, which is like an image of the Earth.
Yeah.
And she says, my memories are all coming back to me. And this is where we need to...
Moments.
I was about to say we need to play It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion.
Yeah. Can you put that in?
It's all coming back to me now. There were moments of God and there were flashes of light. I had to do that because, the light's emanating from Sailor Moon. So anyway,
Yeah.
I'm glad we were on the same wavelength.
I love that song so much.
Me too. It's so good.
I'll
Ugh.
listen to that later.
I know, same. Okay, so she says, there was a planet just like your eyes, those deep eyes that I could fall right into, a deep blue planet full of secret hopes and hidden potential. Long ago, I loved looking at that blue planet from the moon, and I had a secret. So before I go on, this is like the first time we're sort of seeing the Silver Millennium. So like this is the palace, the Moon Palace, the Moon Kingdom
Yeah.
Palace, and it shows Serenity thinking about Endymion, and you just see the ornate columns of the palace, and it just looks so cool. So she's thinking about him again. The Earth Kingdom Prince and Heir, Endymion. He was so strong and so handsome. I wanted to get a closer look, so I visited the blue planet again and again. Endymion. And so we see images of Endymion in his like knight outfit. It is basically knight armor. And a cape, super ornate, super cute, and then it shows Serenity hiding behind a tree, or is that one of the columns? No, it's not one of the columns. It looks like a tree with some ivy around it.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, play Ivy by Taylor Swift. No, don't really play it. Don't really play it. I was just kidding.
Again, I was thinking Ivy.
My computer's like, okay. Oh my god, it's playing Ivy. Sorry.
Now I'm covered in you.
Okay, I'll stop it. Sorry, y'all. Anyway, that was funny. And then we see this image of Serenity and Endymion seeing each other for presumably the first time. And like they get swept into each other's arms. Super cute. All the flower petals around them. Super gorge. And so then we get this conversation page between Serenity and Endymion. And she says, or no, he says, but we shouldn't meet like this anymore. And she says, why? And he says, intimacy between the moon people and the earth people is forbidden. It is God's law. We mustn't fall in love. And she says, but it's too late.
I love a forbidden love.
I know. I love it so much. It's so cute. Oh, I love it. So this is where we get some good shit too.
Yeah.
The good times just keep coming with this chapter. So then we cut back to the moon. It's later on. From when Serenity and Endymion met. And there's a crowd of angry bitches. We love a crowd of angry bitches.
We do.
And at the front is this woman, and she looks pretty plain. She's got dark hair. She's in, normal clothes. But what does she have on her forehead, Marcella?
Oh,
did you notice it?
She's got a like a tiara-y crown type thing.
Does it look familiar?
Yeah, it kind of does, actually.
So she's chanting, she's hyping up the crowd, and she says, we will conquer the Moon Kingdom. The mystical silver crystal will be ours. Would you betray your own people, my prince? We're fighting for the Earth's prosperity. And
it's also got a thing about the mystical silver crystal.
Once again. So Endymion stands in front of Serenity, brandishing his sword. He says, stop, lay down your arms, stop this feudal war. And then this woman raises her own sword, and we see an image of Queen Metalia popping up behind her.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna say this. This is Beryl.
Yeah.
This is Beryl.
She looks. I mean, that is Beryl in that frame.
Yeah, you can tell by the tiara little shape of her thing, because she keeps it in her monster form, we'll say.
If you couldn't tell before, then you can definitely tell from that drawing.
Yeah. So what this is telling me, I know we kind of alluded to it, but Queen Metalia kind of corrupted Beryl, because she's kind of commanding Beryl to do this.
Sorry.
Because that's how bad Metalia wants the mystical silver crystal.
Yeah.
So then what does she do? She tries to stab Serenity, but Endymion's like, you're not going to stab her. And so he takes the hit for Serenity. And Beryl stabs him. And she screams, no, Endymion. And she's shooketh. Okay, that's the end of the flashback. So we learned a lot. So
we did.
Beryl and Metalia were part of the Moon Kingdom demise. Queen Metalia corrupted Beryl into doing her bidding. So then we cut back to Sailor Moon. She says, "Speak to me," talking to Tuxedo Mask, of course. And she says, "Open your eyes, please. I remember now. We were reborn. We're finally together again. But now, is this fate, Endymion?" And she screams. She's crying, says, "Tuxedo Mask." And then she's thinking, huh?
Tuxedo Mask. I just
Tuxedo
like it when
Mask. So she's thinking, "But I haven't told you anything about myself. This feeling is so strong. You are my only love."
Oh, God.
And this, whenever I hear that phrase, I cut to the 90s anime, because there was a song called My Only Love, I think. My Only Love. Do you know what I'm talking about? I know
No.
you haven't seen a whole lot of anime, so you wouldn't. There's a song that's like, "There would come a day, na-na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, my only love," or "my true love." I think it's "my true love."
Oh.
Yeah, super cute. Anyway, you'll have to look it up. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
That's good. Anyway, so she starts to cry and her tears are starting to glow. And the light is so intense from her tears that it's starting to blind everyone. We see Kunzite he's struggling to see, he's covering up his eyes.
He's just like, ugh.
And he was like, "Ugh." And all the girls are covering their eyes. And they're like, "It's blinding. I can't see a thing. A powerful force is keeping us back." And then we cut to all over Tokyo, all over Juban. This isn't just affecting the Tokyo Tower. This light is so
Yeah.
bright, it's affecting the citizens of
Mm.
Juban. So we cut to, I'm going to say this is Shingo. This just looks like Shingo to me.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm just going to say it's Shingo. If it's not, I really don't care. So Shingo's like, "What? It's the middle of the night. What is that bright light?" And then we cut to
Question.
probably my favorite panel of Beryl. You see a lot of Beryl's details in this panel because it cuts
You
to
do,
Beryl for a
yes.
split second, and she's like, "That light is that ... And you see the ornate crystal or tiara thing on her forehead, and the horns on her shoulder, looking into
A
the
little divining
crystal ball.
Yeah.
And the light is emanating in the crystal ball even. And then we get this gorgeous image of Serenity, aka Sailor Moon, aka Usagi.
Yeah.
Her tears crystallize and they form into the mystical silver crystal. It's here, finally.
Oh, I wonder if Luna knew.
I know, the fucking bitch. Go eat your cat chow, you lying sack of fucking fur. Anyway. Sorry, Luna. Sorry, Paul.
I know. I'm gonna make a rug out of you, Luna.
You're gonna make me choke on my water. Shit. We'll make Luna into a nap blanket. The nap blanket saga part 2, bitch. So then Mercury puts on her video game goggles. And she says, "I can see inside the light. Usagi's tear has formed into a crystal and it's shining." Beryl, we cut to Beryl for a second. She says, "My dark crystal is about to explode. What is this power?" Then we cut to Kunzite and he says, "This extraordinary power, this intense white light. It can't be." And then we cut to Venus and she says, "No, it can't be. The mystical silver crystal?"
And I thought she knew where it was hidden.
I know, right?
Okay.
And then Mercury says, "That is this
Escape
mystical silver crystal?" And then we cut again to random spots in Juban. I love this part. I just love that it did this. It shows a little kid, super cute, and he's wheezing, he's coughing, and he's in a hospital bed. You can kind of tell. And he's like, "My chest hurts, I can't breathe." And then the light comes in from the window from the silver crystal.
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm not coughing anymore. I can breathe." So the silver crystal is so powerful, it's curing him. It's so cool to see. So then we cut to Umino because they got to get our Umino fix in there, I guess. And he's looking through a telescope and he says, "This light, am I seeing a supernova explosion? No, you dumb bitch."
Why is he just being a peeping Tom with his telescope?
Yeah, that's kind of questionable. I didn't think about that till now. Is he part of the Matoki mafia? Is he part of that whole
that's what
ring?
I'm thinking. Yeah, part of the whole grooming ring. I think
Fucking
so.
Matoki mafia. Anyway, so then we cut to just a random dead plant, and the light from the silver crystal shines on it, and it sprouts life again. It sprouts a flower.
Blooms, yeah.
Yeah, it blooms. So then we cut to this random image of the Earth, like terrain Earth, not like the Earth, the planet.
Yeah.
And it's rumbling and shit. And then it cuts to, I'm just gonna say NASA. We're gonna go with a NASA.
Yeah.
And they're looking at the Earth and they're like, the Earth is being rejuvenated. What's causing it?
And it's a
So
powerful crystal.
yeah, this is just showcasing the power of the mystical silver crystal, which I think is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know that it's strong enough to be a Death Star, basically. So it has
Well,
the
I can
power
see
to
why.
destroy
Yeah, I can
planets.
see why it's so wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
So coveted.
Yes, the coveted crystal. So then we cut back to Kunzite, and he says, "No, my barrier can't take any more of this." There we go. Oh, don't worry, we're about to get into my Metalia impression.
Ooh.
Because Kunzite flips his head, and does he see Beryl? Is Beryl there?
I don't know. No.
Maybe I think he's just thinking about her, because then we see
Looks
Beryl.
good though.
She does look good, very curvaceous. So he screams
Mm.
Queen Beryl. Beryl's at the moon, or at the Dark Kingdom, and then we get Metalia starts to feel the effects of the silver
Ooh.
crystal. So quiet on set, George
Do
on
it.
the tape. Energy. Okay. Oh, my empire has been connected to the upper world. An extraordinary power is flowing in from above. My empire of darkness is being overrun with holy light. But what is this? I feel power welling up inside me. I see it! This power, this is it! This is the mystical silver crystal! There we go. And scene. Cut.
Print it.
Print Tony. Thank you.
Whatever they say.
George, run that back, please. Yeah, on the shelf. Yeah, thank you. Okay, great.
How's
Oh,
he
Bill,
coming with that iced coffee order?
yeah, Bill just walked in with the iced coffee. Yeah, can you put it on the table? Yeah, no, the table, not the counter, the table. Bill, the table. Thank you. Jesus Christ. Anyway. Oh, I love making up fake shit in my head. Oh, okay.
I can see them there though in my head.
Yeah, George is running sound. Bill just is the intern. That's fine. Anyway. All right. So anyway, we cut to in the cave, or what do they call it? We'll say the Mausoleum of the Dark Kingdom.
Yeah.
Where
Where the dead body, crispy bodies are.
Yeah, the crispy bodies of Jadeite, Nephrite, and Zoisite are being kept. And we see this image of Jadeite and his skull, his faceless skull, and the power of the silver crystal is rejuvenating him until we see his face again.
Yeah.
And then Kunzite says, Jadeite, Nephrite, Zoisite, they've revived? And then we see Nephrite and Zoisite, and they're thinking, what is this light? Have we been sleeping all this time? I feel energy flowing this way. What is this place? What are we doing here? And then, more flashback! More backstory. I love it.
Yeah. Bring it.
So then they're thinking, we were given a second life on Earth so that we could find our prince. Where is he? Where is Lord Endymion? Dun dun dun! The plot thickens like a good old soup, honey. A good chili. A good chili.
Heck of a twist.
Heck of a twist. Yeah, so then it shows Endymion, and he says, why do you fight? And it shows Kunzite, Zoisite, Nephrite, and Jadeite all together, and they say, or Kunzite's talking. He's the talker of the group. Clearly, nothing's changed. And he says, we've had enough of their oppression, my prince, so we can no longer abide by the Moon Kingdom's laws, the way they sit up there and watch our every move. And Endymion is not having this bullshit.
No.
He says, I call bullshit. Hit the bullshit button.
Yeah.
He says, when have we ever been oppressed? You think they watch our every move? Who gave you these absurd ideas? Was it that abomination? That creature? So Metalia's effects were being felt, whether it was through Beryl or not. They were aware of it, of the darkness, if you will. And he says, don't you see? That thing is only using us. So then it cuts back to Kunzite, and he's seeing these images and this backstory flash in his head. And he's like, what is this memory? Is it a memory from our former life? Of course. We were reborn so we could find our lord, Prince Endymion. And then I love this image of the four heavenly kings all together.
I'm liking the far left image. That's a good pose.
Oh, Jadeite. Yeah, because Jadeite's in the far left, and then we got
I
Kunzite
know,
next
I
to
get them
him.
mixed up. I'm terrible with
And then,
names.
oh, you're good. And then Zoisite's the one with his finger or his chin is in his hand, and then Nephrite's the one with his hand in his hair.
Yeah.
And so Kunzite's remembering, and he says, "But before we regained our memories, we fell into its clutches once more."
Oh no.
And then it shows Beryl, of course, being
Mm.
corrupted by Queen Metalia.
Yeah.
And he says, "We sold our souls. Then our bodies were changed." So then we see, this is the present. I double checked. It's Zoisite's body, but Zoisite starts to melt.
Oh no.
Even though Zoisite was just revived, Zoisite starts to melt. Nephrite and Jadeite also start to melt until they're gemstones. They're
Wow.
just little rocks. And Kunzite says, Zoisite, Nephrite, Jadeite, they've reverted to stones. They didn't last long, talking about their revival.
Yeah.
So they were revived just to. This tells me that they go to their like natural state. So maybe they
Yeah.
were always gemstones. Who knows?
Yeah.
So then we cut back to Mercury, and she says, "Look, the mystical silver crystal," and it starts to glow, and it's still bright in Serenity's hands. And we see some of the light fading off of the crystal, and it goes inside of Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
And then it stops glowing. So all the light that's shining all over Juban and all over the Dark Kingdom and all over them fades away.
Yeah.
So then they're like, or random people are like, the light went out and the rumbling stopped. And then we cut to Beryl, and she's got her talons out. Love that image. And she says, "Now, Kunzite, take the princess and her mystical silver crystal for the Dark Kingdom." So Kunzite sends out a blast from his hands. And Mercury, or no, this is not Mercury, this is Mars. She says, "The princess!" And our good girls, Jupiter and Venus, jump in front of Princess Serenity, the newly revealed Princess Serenity. And when they do so, they take the brunt of the hit, of course, but Tuxedo Mask drifts out of Serenity's arms.
Yeah.
And he starts to fall, and he falls right into Kunzite's arms, and he starts.
Damn.
Yeah, they got him, and Usagi is pissed. She's like, "Tuxedo Mask." And who is that holding her like in front of her? Is that Jupiter?
I think it's Jupiter.
Yeah, I think it's Jupiter.
It's the boots.
Yeah, the boots, of course. So Kunzite takes one arm free. He's holding Tuxedo Mask in one arm, and then he sends out energy in the other one, his energy blast. And they're like, "No, princess." And then Jupiter says, "We don't stand a chance against him now." And Venus says, "We have to retreat." And Usagi's like, "No, let me go. He's taking Tuxedo Mask. What the fuck?"
She would.
I know, right? And then we get this awesome image of Kunzite holding Tuxedo Mask in his arms, and Beryl's silhouette is behind Kunzite.
Yeah, looming over him.
Yeah, looming. That's a good way to put it. Super cool. And then Mercury, I said Ami, but same thing. Mercury gets on her Madonna mic and she says, "Luna, Artemis, can you hear me? We're teleporting to you. We need your help." When have those cats ever helped?
Good luck with that.
I'm sorry, when has that ever helped anybody?
It hasn't.
So then Kunzite, taking Tuxedo Mask, blurs into the background. He teleports away, and Usagi's like, "He's gone." "No, Tuxedo Mask." And then she says, "Mamo," and she's crying again.
Oh, Mamo.
So then we cut to the Crown Game Center. So the battle is over for now. The flashbacks have ceased a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't have to cut this. I got to plug in my laptop. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so we see this image of Usagi in the Princess Serenity dress. She's still in the Princess Serenity getup, and she's just sobbing. And the other guardians are overlooking her. They're really worried. And Venus, of course, is the one that comes up to her. And she says, "Sailor Moon, no, Princess Serenity. You remember, don't you?" And Usagi turns her head, and she's still like so tearful, and she's just like looking at her like so vulnerable. I love that image of her.
That is such, yeah.
So good. And so Venus says, "You remember that I'm Sailor Venus, and that I am the true leader of your highness's sworn guardians. You remember our kingdom, the Silver Millennium." And I also love this image of Usagi, like the tears in her eyes again, like the detail in her eyes there. Ooh, so good.
Yeah, no. Feel it. Feel her
Yeah, you can
pain.
feel the emotion. Yeah, for sure. So she says, "Yes, I remember. Endymion. I remember the happy times we shared before we were reborn."
Look
back
how
when
cute.
Oh, ugh, ugh, I can't deal with it because she's wrapped up in Endymion's arms, but she's like caressing his lips with her finger
Yeah.
as he like clasps his arms around her waist. It's so fucking adorable. If
Just
you don't
forehead to forehead, and yeah,
Yes. If you don't stan Usagi and Mamoru, like I don't know what to tell you.
just get out.
You're reading the wrong manga if you don't
Yeah.
like them together. I'm sorry. It's so
Yeah,
cute.
stop reading. Right,
Stop
Izzy.
reading right
Right.
now. So Usagi's thinking back, and she says, "Back when the Earth was united as one nation, and there was a kingdom on the Moon too. Eventually, war broke out between the Earth and the Moon, and we get this awesome image of Serenity and the Guardians, and even Luna. Luna looks really happy and cute. I'll
Mm.
give her that for now because when she's reborn, she's a fucking bitch. But anyway, and they're laughing, having a good time. Everyone's great." And she says, and that golden age came crashing to an end, and now it's no different. I still couldn't save him. And this,
Even Mars looks happy.
I
Rare.
know, which is funny because she's like, ugh, Serenity loves a man. Ugh, can't relate. And I love this image of like where she says, and now it's no different. I still couldn't save him. She's like,
Mm.
Usagi's silhouette is grayed out, and the texture on the gray color is, I don't know, it just looks so like devastated.
Yeah,
It's a cool way to show the devastation.
yeah, definitely.
So then cut back to the present. Luna says, I can't believe Tuxedo Mask was really Endymion. To think it would all happen again. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I need to punt her like a football. She's got to go. She's got to go.
You're a rug. Shut up.
You're a rug! Oh, damn it. So Mars pops in and she says, I can't believe the enemy is still alive or that it's still trying to take over the planet and its people. This is definitely the same creature that destroyed our kingdom. And Mercury says, that evil creature, I had heard that it's an alien life form with no physical substance or that it's a mass of solid darkness. And Venus says, we sealed it away, back in our past lives. I know we did. And then she thinks to herself, but now someone's broken the seal again, someone who is doing its bidding.
Mm.
And that woman, talking about Beryl, could she be the
Yeah.
one who broke the seal? And is she the one running the Dark Kingdom? Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. Venus, your prize is the truth. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So Venus says, we have to figure out where to find the Dark Kingdom. And Jupiter says, we saw something go inside Tuxedo Mask. It was a part of the mystical silver crystal, wasn't it? If we don't do something, we could be in big trouble. And Usagi's just like, bitch, I'm still crying. I'm shook
Yeah, I'm
to
not
my
over it
fucking
yet.
core. Like, and I'll give Usagi this because, like, she's realized her past life as Serenity,
It's a
Princess
lot.
Serenity.
A lot to
The
take
silver
in.
crystal was inside of her. She cried it out of her. Kunzite
Yeah.
stole Tuxedo Mask.
Yeah.
And then she's got this big burden of, you know, all the guardians and like what they lost in Silver Millennium. It's a lot to take
Yeah.
on. And remember, she's only 14
Yeah.
physically.
Oh, yeah. I know. I forget about that. It's a shame she didn't have some kind of like consort that could like tell her some kind of, you know, bits of information
I know, right?
rather than say, you know, oh, I'll tell you when the time's right.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
also, I want to take a second to talk about how terrifying it is for Mamoru, too, because he was reborn. He was the Prince of the Earth, and
Mm.
he gets reborn, and then he's in a car crash at 6 years old, and both of his
Yeah.
parents die.
I know.
It's
And
tragic
it's
as
on his
fuck. On his
birthday.
birthday, and he loses his memories. He
I
doesn't
know.
even know who that life was. The Mamoru Chiba memories are gone.
I mean, it's your birthday, and you're like, okay, maybe I want a Play-Doh barbershop. That'd be cool. Nope.
It's like,
Nope.
how
Sorry.
about an intensive care trip?
Yeah.
So tragic. Ugh. Anyway, so then Usagi's thinking back to, you know, she's trying to take all of this in and she's thinking to herself, I still just don't believe it. My tear crystallized to become the mystical silver crystal. And she's putting it to her face and she says, it was shining like the full moon, but now it's just like an ordinary glass bauble. I can still feel a touch of its warmth. It feels just like the warmth of his hands. And she
Oh.
passes the fuck out. It's too much for her. I can't blame her. This is intense.
I can't blame you. I probably need the smelling salts as well.
Yeah. Smelling salts. So she passes out, and the girls are all like, Princess. And then we cut to, of course, the Dark Kingdom. And God, this chapter is so long, but I'm loving it. Like, so much is happening. We
Oh,
have to
bring
break
it.
down this shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut to the Dark Kingdom, and we see Tuxedo Mask, and he's, of course, unconscious. And Beryl says, hasn't he awakened yet? And Kunzite says, his heartbeat is normal and it's faint, but there is an unusual power emanating from inside him. So, of course, this is the sliver of light from the mystical silver crystal that went inside of him
Yeah,
for
that was
whatever
like,
reason.
yeah.
I guess to just heal him because he took the brute of Kunzite's attack. I'm assuming that's why
He
the
did.
crystal. Yeah. So Beryl says, but we searched his entire body and haven't found anything resembling the mystical silver crystal. How can that be? I know I saw a light leave the silver crystal and go inside him. Did it disperse throughout his body? Why can't we detect it? And then it cuts to Tuxedo Mask waking up. And Beryl says, a sack of flesh that does not contain the mystical silver crystal is of no use to me. And then this image of a
I know.
zombified Mamoru. It is fucking terrifying.
And you turn the page to that as well, so you're just like
It's the
casually
first thing you
reading, and
see.
then
Yeah.
you turn the page and like, holy bejesus.
Oh my god, like you see his skeletal teeth, his eyes are hollowed out. It's fucking terrifying. It might be up there with the image of Morga, like the first villain.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah, that was
terrifying.
good. Like
She does horror so good.
oh, Creep Show.
Mm.
You know, the
what's his name? I hate him.
1980s.
I hate him. Oh god, what's his name? The Crypt Keeper. Oh, I
Yeah.
hate it. As a kid, I was terrified of the Crypt Keeper. Terrified.
Yeah.
And that's probably why these images affect me so much, is because
they're like that, aren't they?
they're very like the Crypt.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking of his image in my head. I can't deal with it.
I love it, but I hate it, but I love it.
I love horror, but the Crypt Keeper is a big old no for me.
Yeah.
I have the childhood trauma. I can't do it. So anyway, we move on from this zombie Mamoru image, and we hear no, and Usagi wakes up. It was just a dream. So the whole part with him waking up was just a dream. It's
Good
okay.
job.
Everything's okay. Just a little fake out.
Yeah.
So she's thinking, how many times has it been now? I keep waking up to the sound of my own crying. Tuxedo Mask.
For work.
For work? Yeah, me. So it's been a little bit of time. It's been like a couple weeks, I would say, because we'll get to that in a second. Yeah. But it's been a little bit of time since Tuxedo Mask was taken and the silver crystal appeared. They've had time to sort of settle into their new memories.
Yeah.
So Usagi clutches her little bunny. It's so cute, her stuffed bunny, and she says, "My eyes are red like a bunny's. Actually, they're so puffy, they're like a Chinese meat bun. I'm crying too much." And then she's like, "Oh, my poor face." And you see it. Her eyes are puffy as fuck.
I know. She needs to get some, cucumbers on them.
I know.
Cucumber slices.
And then we see this image of her with her hand in her hair, and it's shimmering. But more on that in a second. That's a little foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
We cut to the Crown Game Center where Luna is holed up. And she's thinking, how long has it been now? I am
feeling
Luna.
a little bit guilty.
Yeah, and as she fucking should.
Yeah.
And she says, I am Luna, the caretaker of Princess Serenity. I vowed to never to leave her side, no matter the circumstance. But here I am. I've never been away from Usagi for this long. It's like, well, you did this to yourself, bitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have a little bit of sympathy for Luna because she didn't have all of her memories, but she had enough to share them with Usagi.
Well, she had enough to say, I'll tell you when the time is right. I'll tell you later. You don't need to know right now.
Right. She could have been like, I have some answers for you, but you need to focus on learning how to fight first, and then I'll tell you. But she didn't do that. I kind of feel
sorry for Luna because she's a cat, and I love cats, but
I do love cats, but
she's yeah.
So anyway, then we get a little Luna flashback, and she says, I remember after the Moon Kingdom was destroyed, Artemis and I were both sent into a long sleep. And we get this cool image of the moon in space, and Luna and Artemis look adorable, and they're in these like sealed tight containers, cylinder containers, floating through space. And then she says, eventually I woke up and I found myself here on Earth in this age. My first objective was to awaken Sailor Moon and watch over her as I raised her to be a guardian. And of course, in this image of her and Usagi, she's on top of Usagi's head because, again,
naturally,
her favorite pastime.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to say, my memories were sealed and Sailor Venus was set up as a decoy princess while we trained Usagi to be Sailor Moon. So this is where I'm going to start calling bullshit, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Sailor Venus was set up as a decoy princess.
Yeah.
This would be a valid strategy if the Dark Kingdom fell for it, which they didn't. They never were like,
No.
"Oh, there's another guardian. She's the Moon Princess." There was like a second where Beryl was like, "Oh, is she?" But there was never like Kunzite, go
No.
after her because she's the Moon Princess. That never happened.
Exactly. That's
So
true.
there's no point of a decoy.
But also, like, was Artemis aware of the plan? Because he was absolutely sure that she was the Moon Princess, or maybe he was just in character.
Yeah, I think he
Like,
was in
deep
character
in
like Minako.
character.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But
Well,
still,
that makes
it's
right.
still bullshit, but
But
whatever.
still, yeah.
So then she says it was all to protect the princess and the mystical silver crystal that slept inside her. Plan was to keep the enemy fooled a little longer. Again, they weren't fooled. They didn't go after Sailor V. It's fine.
And was Sailor V aware that she was a decoy?
I think so.
Or had
I think
okay.
so, but and that might be more explained in Codename Sailor V, neither of which we've read yet. So
Yeah, no. I
we're
feel
gonna
like,
read
yeah.
it for the first time once the Eternal editions come out, which come out in June. Super excited.
It still says April on my
Oh, that's right.
thing.
You might get it before me, but that's fine. It's gonna be a while before we get
Well,
to.
that would be a change, wouldn't it?
I'm sorry. But we will be reading Codename Sailor V on the podcast, but that'll be way,
Yeah.
way later. But
Yeah.
anyway, where were we? So then she says, however, she awakened earlier than we anticipated. If only I had gotten my memories back sooner and realized that Tuxedo Mask was Endymion, then Usagi wouldn't have to go through so much pain. I should have had more faith in her. If by faith you mean telling her, I don't know, anything, then yes,
Yeah.
you should have.
You should have, yeah.
Ugh, gonna make some moccasins out of your bitch ass. Anyway. And I love this panel of her feeling guilty. Her head is hung and she says, I put her through so much grief. I don't deserve to be
did.
her partner. Yes, you
Yeah.
better feel bad for yourself, bitch.
I still want to scoop her up and cuddle her.
See, I want to like give her the scritches under her chin, but
Yeah.
I want to give her the
Then
evil eye while I'm doing it.
bop her on the head.
Exactly.
Not really, I'd never bop her.
So
In a
then we
cute way.
hear, yeah, for sure. So then we hear, yeah, a good partner would be at her side, and it's Artemis. Artemis with the shade, I love it.
And look at his little face as well. He's like, yeah, I went there.
He's so smug. I love it. So he says, I'm sorry, this isn't like me, Luna says, I'm sorry, this isn't like me, is it? And he says, you've been here all this time? And she says, I've been trying to locate the Dark Kingdom, but I don't have any leads. How is Usagi? And this panel of Artemis like licking Luna's tears away, that's what I'm going to say is happening.
Yeah.
Is so fucking cute. The way she's drawn both of them, fucking adorable.
It is very cute.
Ugh, so cute.
Yeah. Not as cute as Endymion and
not as cute as Serenity and Endymion. So then we cut back to the Tsukino household, and we get an appearance from Mikuko, Usagi's mom, and she says, "Oh my,
Right.
thank you for coming by to see her every day." And of course, it's the four girls. Naru's nowhere to be seen. Naru, who? Don't know her. She's too busy checking the sales records for OSP jewelry, making sure that she's in the top 1% of the world.
Naru, you're so shallow.
I love Naru. I love that like none of these characteristics I'm talking about are canonically Naru, but it lives on in my head rent free. So
wasn't she upset as well about the fact that Usagi had been in her mind ignoring her?
Yeah, that's true. So she's like,
bad blockbuster.
Yeah, in bad blockbuster.
Yeah.
So she's just kind of giving Usagi some space, which clearly she needs because she's traumatized now.
Yeah.
So anyway, then Mako says, how is Usagi doing, ma'am? And Ami says, it's been a week now and she hasn't been to school. Leave it to Ami to worry about her grades.
Yeah.
And Ikuko says, you're right. It really is about time I make her go back to school. Nothing's changed.
How beautiful does Ikuko look that?
I know. And this ornate little bow she's got on her dress. So cute.
Yeah.
She says nothing's changed. She still won't leave her room, and she hardly eats a bite. She seems to have been through quite a shock. I wonder what happened. That must be frustrating. Like this crazy thing is going on, and Usagi can't even tell Ikuko.
Yeah, true.
Like I'm sure that's got to be hard.
Yeah.
But also, it's serious because Usagi's not eating.
I know. That was the first thing I noticed. I thought, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get Luna zooming to the Tsukino household, and Ikuko turns around and says, "Oh, it's little Crescent Baldy. I haven't seen her in
Oh.
a while." I just love that she still calls her Baldy.
She hasn't learned, has she? She's
Not at all. So she says, "Did she come back because she's worried about Usagi?" And then we see this, we cut to Usagi's room, the cute little bunny message or door header. What is it called? Door plate. There we go.
yeah.
And we hear, "Usagi, are you all right? It's me, Luna. Open the door." And she's banging on her cat paws. So cute.
Oh.
And so the girls follow Luna and they're like, "Usagi," and they turn the door, and we get this image of Usagi's hair and it's shimmering. And she says, "Luna, girls." And okay, we need to talk about this panel.
I
They,
know. I was
they,
waiting.
they say, "Usagi, your hair." So this is an image of Usagi. Her hair has grown. God, she's 4 foot, so maybe 8 feet.
Yeah, it's like Rapunzel-esque, isn't it?
Very Rapunzel moment. And this fucking dress.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's time for fashion first because
hmm
I need to settle myself. It's like the top is like very ruffly. That's the word I was looking
yeah.
for. The top of it is ruffled, the arms are, or the armholes are ruffled, and of course right under her chest is ruffled. And then the pattern is like a plaid pattern.
Yes.
And she's got this little bow in the front, like a tiny, tiny shoestring bow. Fucking gorgeous. And then she's wearing a long skirt that's also ruffly at the bottom. And it's just everything. Like,
It's
we'll get to the color because, like, I just pictured like the plaid being like blues and teals, which I was pretty
oh
close.
yeah.
Because
I
we
mean
get
it's
a
very debut, isn't it?
very
Taylor
debut
Swift.
vibes. Yes. If she had some cowboy
Yeah.
boots on, she would be debut as fuck.
She would. She's listening to should have said no right now.
Or cold
Actually,
as
no, she'd be
you.
listening to something. She'd be listening to something kind of sadder, wouldn't she? Maybe
You know what she's listening to? Tied Together with a Smile.
oh yes.
Tied Together with a Smile because you know, she's got everything she wants but she can't quite have it and everything's coming raveling down. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tied Together with a Smile is bopping through this house.
yeah.
Like Ikuko's like, she hears, "Hold on, baby, you're losing it." And she's like, "Oh God, it started again. It started. Kenji, can you go check on her? It's track 7 again. She did it again." So anyway, I just had to talk about the dress because it's gorgeous, and we actually get a color page of it in a second, and I wasn't quite
yeah.
far off with the blue and teal, but blue and teal is just what I pictured when I first saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, we flip the page, and actually Venus is the one who pops in. Minako, she starts cutting Usagi's hair, and she's like, "Since that night, it just," or Usagi says, "Since that night, it just keeps growing and growing." So I think that's just a side effect from the silver crystal. Caused
Yeah.
her hair to Rapunzel itself.
Mm. Well, it did
And
kind of it caused the flower to bloom and
yeah, exactly. Like we saw the side effects from around town where that wasn't even close to the silver crystal. So imagine what it
yeah,
did to Usagi. Yeah.
exactly.
So Minako says it was really long when you were a princess after all. And then she's thinking, because she's wrapping her hair up in udongos like she
Yeah.
normally wears it. And she says, maybe I should wrap it around the bun one more time because it's that long. And then she says, your memories came back all at once. They must have triggered some physical changes. And look at Mako holding the mirror for Usagi. So
Yes, I
cute.
was literally about to say, and look at her
Ugh,
adoring face looking at Usagi.
God, we're such Makoto stans.
I love that girl. I love her so much.
Me too. So then Usagi's, kind of disassociating a little, thinking to herself, changes? I'm becoming more like the princess, but it's like I'm becoming less like myself. And
Mm.
damn, girl, like that's so deep, especially for
Yeah,
Usagi.
yeah.
But Luna chimes in and says, what about the crystal? Do you still have it? And Usagi
Mhm.
says, yeah, but it's still as dull as ever. Are you sure this is the mystical silver crystal? And she's holding it up to the light to look at it. And Mako says it was shining like the full moon, or she's thinking it was shining like the full moon.
And again, look how cute she
Adorable.
looks.
And she's waving her hands. And she says, remember what happened that night? Whatever was inside the crystal came out and got absorbed into Tuxedo Mask. Maybe there's some secret to that? And Usagi thinks, Tuxedo Mask.
Oh, it gets me every time.
I love it. And then, of course, Usagi's getting Vietnam flashbacks to holding
Yeah.
Tuxedo Mask in her arms as he's bleeding and shit. just a casual Vietnam War flashback from the moon.
Just girly things.
Just girly things TM. So then Usagi is like, where is he now? We have to defeat the Dark Kingdom. We have to rescue him. And Ami's like, Usagi, she's basically like, calm down. Like, it's okay. Get a grip.
She's shouting though, Usagi, in that picture. Look at her.
She is. And she keeps shouting. She says, if we don't, he's going to keep melting, talking about the dream, I guess.
Yeah.
And she says, and no, Endymion. And they're like, Usagi. And Minako puts her hands on Usagi's shoulder and she's like, Princess, pull yourself the fuck together.
Yeah.
Remember, you have us. We're here to help you, Usagi. We'll help you save him, I promise. So please, dry your tears and try to cheer up, okay? Which, I mean, I'm gonna give Usagi this because so much has fucking happened. She can't talk to her family about it. And like the one person she wants to like talk to this about is gone.
Yeah.
So let her have her feelings. So anyway, she's thinking, I am the last heir to the Silver Millennium throne. I am Princess Serenity. I have to be strong. I have to save him. I know he's still alive. So then she says to the girls, I need to know where the Dark Kingdom is, and I need to know the secrets of the mystical silver crystal. But I don't. I don't know anything. What can we do? And Luna says, we can go to the moon.
What?
Again, I'm calling bullshit. Was that always an option on the table, Luna?
It doesn't surprise me at this point.
We can go to the moon. We can go to the moon. Fuck you. Anyway.
Hello, go to the moon. Yeah, why not? Why not? Oh, okay.
Right. So Usagi's thinking, what, bitch? What? We can go to the moon. And Luna's like, yeah, we can go to the moon to where our kingdom once stood. And then Usagi is thinking, we'll go to unlock all the secrets to the moon. And then this color image, stunning. She says, our kingdom, the silver millennium, our past lives, and the mystical silver crystal. And then she's running out of her room, out of the house, and she says,
Look
we'll learn.
at her hair.
Oh,
wait, it's pink in that panel, and then it turns blue. Not her hair.
I think it's because the dress top. I think it's because in the top panel, it's reflecting the colors of the background, which is like red and amber tones, but like it's truly a blue top.
And her hair is platinum.
Her hair is platinum for a second. She says, we'll learn all the secrets on the moon. And then it shows this image of Usagi out overlooking Tokyo, or not overlooking, but looking up at the moon. Tokyo's in the background. The ornate top is like blue plaid, a blue bow on the back. Yeah, gorgeous. Her hair flowing in the wind. And that's how we end this chapter.
Wow.
There was a lot in this one. This was all plot.
This was like a kind of almost season finale-esque type.
Yeah, I could totally see this being a season finale. Yeah, for sure. So Marcella, as always, what was your favorite parts? I gotta flip through again.
Yeah, I mean, I already know kind of bits, but it's just wonderful. So, I mean, the whole thing, amazing. So much information, so much story, current and back. So I think first and foremost, obviously, it has to be Endymion and Serenity and their absolutely adorable love that they have. That just makes me melt inside.
Just like he did in her dream.
Just like he did in her dream, exactly. I'm sitting here, I'm a skull with it's just beautiful, and it just makes me feel like
gorgeous.
A teenager again, and just mooning and just that kind of it's too cute. I absolutely love the pairing. I believe it. Yes. I believe it.
If you're not sucked in by this point, you don't have a heart and you don't have a soul.
Exactly. She did just such an amazing job, and how the expressions on how Usagi, aka Sailor Moon, aka Princess
Serenity, yeah, she's got a lot of aliases, that girl.
Yeah, just how expressions throughout the whole chapter.
Yes, so good.
You can just feel her emotions.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So yeah, that's the kind of standout bit. I loved the whole reveal with the mystical silver crystal.
Yes, it was inside Usagi.
I know. So I loved that. I just thought that was so clever. But that's very, was
Yeah, she
hidden.
did a really good job at, building the
Yeah.
suspense for it.
Yeah, and then I think just my little Jupiter moments, 'cause she was it was they were on form with her pictures. I mean, she's always adorable, but she was looking extra adorable in
Yeah.
these little shots.
Fucking love a
Um,
Makoto moment.
I think they're my kind of standout
Mhm.
bits, but the whole thing, I mean, the whole thing's
The
just
whole thing is
amazing,
gold.
isn't it?
This is
And I was
definitely go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna say this is definitely, in my personal opinion, the best chapter that we've had so far.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
I
it's
think
just
definitely.
pure plot, pure story, and,
Yes.
oh, it's just so good.
It's very much kind of, and it makes me think of Buffy, even though it kind of should be the other way
Oh,
around because
yeah.
this came
Yeah,
before
'cause
the
this
other.
came
But
first.
I love the kind of, I love the whole Monster of the Week episodes with Buffy. But
Mhm.
then when you had those episodes that really drove the plot forward,
Right.
they were outstanding. And this was kind of one of
Mhm.
those style episodes. And yeah, just amazing.
So good.
And the fashion, but I'm not going to comment too much on that because I know that that's your gig,
Yeah,
and
so I
I'll let
have
you have your moment.
So yeah, I have three favorite parts of this entire thing. Number 1, Serenity and Endymion's backstory. It's
Yeah.
fucking gold. Like, literally, it wouldn't shock me at all if, like, The Notebook was inspired by Endymion and Serenity, because it's that
Oh, yeah.
vibe. Like, everyone loves The Notebook, Allie and Noah, but, like, the original Allie and Noah is Serenity and Endymion. I'm gonna call it. Come
Yeah.
at me, Nicholas Sparks, stans. Come at me.
I don't
Anyway,
think they can.
I don't think they can, because you can't touch a candle to this love.
Yeah.
Um, Number 2, the Heavenly King's backstory. I think that was super, super good twist, because she could have very easily just been like, these are random guys that Beryl recruited or even created,
Yeah.
but to have them be like the knights of Prince Endymion, the 4 heavenly kings that serve the Prince of Earth, I think is just, it really speaks to the backstory. And anyone can
Yeah.
be corrupted, and they were like super corrupted by Beryl and Queen Metalia, and I love that. And then of course, number 3, the fucking fashion. The Princess Serenity dress is one
Yeah.
of the most iconic dresses of our time.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. And then of course little house on the prairie dress, like the top and the
Oh,
skirt, gorge.
yeah. Yeah.
Gorge. Laura
It makes
Engler
me wanna
Wilder,
get
isn't that her
married. It
name?
makes me wanna get
She
married
wants her
again,
dress
so
back.
oh, yeah.
She wants you to get married
I wanna
again.
get married again so that I can cosplay as
Serenity.
Princess Serenity.
Oh my god, you and Paul should be Serenity and Endymion. That would be so cute.
Yeah, Cavs little Adongas. Cute. I just
Yeah.
have to quickly mention, just with you mentioning the Notebook, it just reminds
Oh,
me of
uh-huh.
Paul. He was doing night shifts. This is going about a year ago, and he
Mhm.
had to set off for work. He said, "Oh, I've got to set off for work in about 45 minutes." And I said, "Well, I'm having a bit of a girly night. I was in the mood. Usually I watch horror films, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, do you know what? I'm in the mood for a bit of romance this evening." So I said, "I'm going to rewatch The Notebook because it was on Netflix." And
Mhm.
he said, "Well, it's not his thing at all. He likes sci-fi." But he sat
Right.
down with me and watched it, as it started before he
Aw.
had to set off for his shift. Bless him.
Oh, how
And
sweet.
he then had to leave sort of 45 minutes into the film. And I got a
Mm.
text from him about half an hour later saying, "Who does she choose?"
I love it.
And he
That's
said
so
he came
funny.
back and we had to finish the film off. He's like, "Pause it. I wanna know."
Oh, that's so
He was
sweet.
even he was invested in their love
Oh,
story.
Paul. That's
So
so
if he was
great. I
invested
love that.
in their love story, then I imagine he's
He should be invested in Serenity and Endymion,
yeah, because
aka Usagi and
he's
Mamoru.
become a fan of Sailor Moon
Yay,
through
that's so
our
exciting.
anyway, sorry.
Oh,
Just
so
reminded
good.
me of
No, I
that.
think it's great. So next week we will be reading, of course, Act 10. We're blazing through. There's only 14 acts in the Dark
Oh,
Kingdom arc, so we're coming up on the tail end here. Um, But next week we'll be reading Act 10, which is called Moon Suki, which Suki is just moon in Japanese. So
Moon.
it's just called Moon, but we're just going to call it Moon. Because, of course, Tsukino is Usagi's last name, which means of the moon.
Yeah.
Fun little fact in there, which I'm sure everyone who knows Sailor Moon knows. Because her name means bunny of the moon, whatever.
Bunny.
Little bunny. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this episode of Sailor Manga. You can follow me on the internet at JustinGray22 across Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And by the time this comes out, it's probably over. But check out my Sims 4 series if you like Sailor Moon, because Usagi and Ray are in it.
Will it be over? Because you've just added 2 new house guests.
That's true. As the time we're recording this, I just added a little twist.
Are you going to do a twist of a double eviction?
More on that later.
Oh, okay, sorry. I just suddenly thought of that.
I have thought about it, and I'm thinking about it. How to make it work if I can.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And you can follow us both on Twitter at Sailor Manga Pod.
And you can write into us at sailormangapodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We still want to hear from the lovely people.
Yeah, you actually can write into us. It's not a fake email address.
No,
real,
we check it. So. We have alerts for it. Like, we want to hear from people.
Yeah. And I'm looking now, and there's nothing.
There's a tumbleweed. Yeah, I know. Please, I don't care if this is just our Discord friends listening to the podcast. Let us know what you think of the story. Sonia, everyone.
Sonia, just drop us a line and let us know if the email address
Carla,
is working.
Rachel, everybody, tell us. Let us know.
Anton.
Shameless. Paul, write in. Why do you love Luna? And why are you wrong?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thanks again for listening to Sailor Manga. And in the name of the moon,
we'll be back soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
George, can you fire up the tape? Yeah, no, to the left. No, I don't need that shelf. No, to the left. Yeah. Press the button. Press record, please. Yeah. Okay, we good? Okay, thanks, George. Anyway.
George.
I don't know where that came from.
Hired some new help?
Yeah, since it's International Women's Month, I had to hire some men, they're out of work. Sad. But yeah. Thanks, George. Can you tell Bill to just run me an iced coffee? Yeah. Oh, whoa. Extra vanilla syrup? Yeah. Oh, wait, extra ice. Okay, thank you. Okay.
When you say Bill, I immediately think of Dead by Daylight. Yeah.
Naturally. Can't wait to have that in the ending.